Howdy again, Mr. Pete, your YouTube shop teacher, and this is going to be a silly but yet maybe revealing video. And it was all brought about when I made this recent video here and restored this push button type magnetic indicator holder. And I was very reluctant to actually use a piece of this nice drill rod. It was a brand new piece that I've had for 15 years at least. And I have so much material, but then I don't actually want to use it. I'm saving it, I guess, for my old age. But what I'm going to do here is just show you the quantity of materials that I have on hand in the basement, in both garage shops, stashed here and there because there's no good order. And in order for me to even find a little piece of anything, I just have to search all these different areas. And it really is insane. I should just throw it out, and when I need something, buy it from McMaster Car. I need to grow up. Well, let's get started. Okay, this is a handheld camera. I hope the sound is okay. But here, right next to my bench, there's all kinds of shorts. You know, we got round, square, we got tubing, we got flats over here. There's brass, aluminum, steel, you know, you name it. But it's a pain to go through this all of the time. But over here on the farther corner, I keep my longer stock, some of it. So I've got rounds and squares, cold roll, and probably some hot roll there, up to about 3 foot long, but there's shorter pieces in there. And it got so rusty on the bottom, I had to start putting a bucket in there. And on the other side of the drill presses, about the same, including some drill rod. Even here next to the bandsaw, some of my shorts, I should just bitch all of this. Lots of material below my Craftsman lathe. We're not going to go through all of it, but in these bins, well, this one is mainly brass, might be some copper and aluminum in there, and it's quite heavy. I can hardly hold that. Here are aluminum flats and rounds and tubing, pretty good sized bin of it. And below it here, that's nothing but threaded rod of various sizes. There's more of that out in the garage. And then some of these, I really don't even know what's in here. I know there's some drill rod, various sizes, hot roll, just all kinds of stuff, different sizes. Some brand new in the shipping tubes. And down here, there's some flat stock, tool steel, band iron, you name it. All kinds of rounds here, and some, including some of my favorite thick wall tubing that is so great to make bushings and things like that. So there's about 100 pounds in there. And in this final bin, aluminum, copper, feeler stock, shim stock, and so on. So that gives you a little idea what's down here in the basement. But wait, there's more. Someday I should go through all of these fasteners plus what I got out in the garage. There's probably 500,000 fasteners without exaggerating, but still never what I need. This isn't much, and I'm behind the fastener cabinet. There's a lot of wooden dowels, but below that there's brazing rod that I sometimes use in various sizes. I use it on the lathe as perfect brass stock, and there's more threaded rod and wire and steel filler rod, aluminum filler rod, and so on in the smaller sizes. I almost forgot to show you this right below my bench where my knees are, a whole pan of this telescoping brass tubing, hobby tubing sometimes they call it. And in here, a selection of drill rod and other small rounds in some very weird decimal sizes as well. And more of that brass and copper hobby tubing and rods here. Just about everything I would need if I could find it. Well, I'm still in the basement, and on this rack here, there's various materials, but on the bottom 3 or 4 shelves, this bin is strictly brass, copper, flats, rounds, probably some squares in there also. Also brass in here and some copper. Aluminum of all sorts. Small pieces mainly. There's more aluminum, steel, small rounds, tubes. You know, that's about 25 pounds. I'm not going to pull it out. Same here. Large rounds, all kinds of key stock, every size you could imagine in 12-inch pieces. Over here is squares, flats, some hexagon, not a whole lot of hexagon. And then way, way down here, I got some angle iron, big pieces of aluminum, large pieces of steel, rectangular, round, and you know, I don't even know what's in here. I'm ashamed. You can see there's no rhyme or reason. Up here below my books is a narrow shelf where I managed to store rectangular, square aluminum, even some rounds, and a tray of all kinds of aluminum. Some a little bit longer pieces here of solids and tubes, plate, rounds. And way over here where the spiders live, well, I got a bucket full of Delrin and plastics and so on, and tubing. And then here there's some copper and aluminum, rounds and flats. That's all brass. And then down on this shelf, quite a bit of aluminum. These pieces are only about 18 inches or 2 feet long. But are you starting to get the gist of the quantity? And I'm still not done in the basement. On this shelf, painted purple, is a screw machine stock in pieces. Oh, they're not real short, they're not real long, but there's rounds and some squares and maybe even some rectangles. And why do I have it? Well, I keep stacking materials any place that I can push it, as you can see. And I'm very hesitant to use this stock because I love it so much, I don't want to waste it. Okay, next to the cabinet here, all kinds of flat material. There's some 1/2-inch thick aluminum. And there's plastic in here, aluminum, steel, some of it plated, and I think some pieces of brass, textured aluminum. Some of that scrap metal, actually. And on the other side, kind of the same, and you probably recognize this piece. And more of that 1/2-inch thick aluminum. Those are actually match plates, various sizes. Well, I'm out in the old garage now, and that noise is a spite stump remover next door. I'm looking up into the joists now. This is the material I bought from the boys that were at the screw machine shop. Remember Brown and Sharp? So there is screw machine steel. There's a bunch of brass up there and aluminum as well. And some aluminum angle irons and a few things like that. And that stuff's already been there, what, 15 years at least. Over on the wall here, well, there's more up there. That brown channel is 40 years old because I got it at the school when they tore out the old bleachers. There's a few rods right there, nothing to brag about. But overhead here is quite a large stash of steel rounds, some squares, even hexagons, I think, and some lumber, of course, as well. I'm going to sell this saw here pretty darn soon, but underneath it there's a lot of shorts. But it's handy to have this stuff on the few occasions where you actually do need it. And not to be left out, against the wall, we have some pipe, flats. That's aluminum there. Some square. There's my jacket from the high school, been hanging there for 10 years. And as you can see, this old hoarder, I'm going up the steps now. I've got a big block of steel right here, which I will never use. Aluminum, more aluminum, flats. Some of these are drop-offs. Most of this stuff is drop-off, but that does not decrease its usefulness. More plates, 1/4 inch. That's a pretty good chunk of aluminum there. Flats. This is hot rolled. I never have used any of it. There's even some pieces there, big old chunk of aluminum, and I'm not going to even remove the fire hazard wood and cardboard there. I sure wish I could sell that thing. Now there might be some more stuff back there, but I do want to show you this. Okay, that's a piece of aluminum. So is that. Boy, some pieces right. And this is cast iron. It's been here for at least 10 years. Big pieces of cast iron, including some, that's about 1.125 round, 2 or 3 feet long. Big old roll of copper. And I think, quit snooping. You're always snooping and looking at other stuff. Never mind that. We're talking about metal. And if I should ever run out of steel, I could make my own. There's a coffee can full of taconite and another Hills Brother coffee can full of Coke. Crazy. Almost forgot to show you this. We got pigs of aluminum. Really big pigs of aluminum. I don't know how many there are. More than Methuselah could use in his entire lifetime. Okay, we're over on the other side, way up high here. I think I might go skiing. There's some of that thick wall steel tubing. That's been up there for 25 years. And on the wall right here, round stock, some of that is tubing, steel. And here, big old chunk of aluminum, stainless steel pipe. I don't know what all. I'm getting tired of doing this. You're probably tired of watching. I don't like running out. And way up here in the joist, that's a threaded rod again. A couple pieces here. I've gotten rid of most of that. And right here is some long pieces of Delrin, as you can see. And I never want to get rid of or run low on plate. So someplace back here, oh yeah, there's a piece of plate, and I know there's more behind these boxes. I'm not going to move it. I'm back up into the ceiling joist here. I'm standing on the steps. This is aluminum plate, some thicker plate. And over here are some pretty good rectangular bars of aluminum and a flat plate. Well, now I'm in the new garage and we got a few bars of aluminum. These are projects I'm working on. Here's some Delrin. Quit snooping, I tell you, quit snooping. Yeah, there's no rhyme or reason to where I have this stuff because, you know, I even got tooling over there and I don't even know what it is. Here's a whole tray of pretty good sized pieces of, I think you told me, you know, most of the stuff was given to me. I believe that's 1014, and over here, big old rectangular block and some more of those rounds. Over on my inner lake shelving, there's a bit of a mother load. This stuff is not so much for machining, it's for fabricating, but how much fabricating do I do? So we got square tubing, angle irons, flats. A lot of this is used, most of it's used. I see some diamond plate there. We got some big old rods setting up here. Okay, continuing over on this side. Again, these are mainly cut-offs. So we got some 3/8 and some 1/4 inch slabs there, or coupons, whatever you might want to call them. Pretty good stack of them. This stuff's got to go. Been sitting there for 15 years already, and I used 2 pieces. All kinds of rectangular and square tubing here. Quite useful, hate to give it up. More flat stuff back there. Some of it's fairly long. A muffler if I would ever need one. Some shorts. And then right below it, lots of pipe and tubing and rod and shafts. Square tubing. Some of it fairly long, but usually under 2 feet. We got some plate here, 3/4, half, various thicknesses and sizes. This is a piece of magnesium. It's got a lot of holes in it, but I just use it for fireworks and fun, so it doesn't really matter. I got to sell some of these vices. I got vices on every bench. Vices are my vice, you know that. Now underneath here, there's even more. A whole stack of material down there behind my engines. I need to get rid of these engines too. What am I doing? There's some fairly long pieces, 2 and 3 feet long back there. Some more there, some angle back there. I know you can't see that. And you can see some pieces sticking up. Oh, there's another vise under there. I need to get rid of this Harbor Freight piece of junk because one of the wheels blew up. It's only 10 years old, and you'd think it was 100. And then over here behind the sheer Tomiko, not a whole lot, but I've got some of that perforated stuff in tubing and angles and flats. Some bar stock. A lot more over in the corner. I can't even get access to it. I don't know what I have back there. It's insane. Some tubing up there, and I think I about covered it over in this area. Quit snooping. All right, you get a little idea of the magnitude of junk that I have around here. I think I'm going to make a package deal of some of this stuff and just either scrap it or list it on Craigslist or something of that nature. Well, it's about the end of the video, but I'm getting this tractor all ready. I'm driving it down to the Pontiac Thresherman's Fair here in a couple days, along with my Ford. Jordan's going to drive the Ford. I'll drive this. It's about 25 miles, but kind of a fun drive. But before I hang up here, just a couple more things I want to show you here right in front of me, and then we truly are done. Long video. Anybody watching? Well, I got the carry-all mounted here. Jordan, actually it was Henry helped me put it on. This stuff here sitting on the cart, that's all going to the swap meet. They call it the trading post down there in Pontiac, Central State Thresherman's Fair. It grieves me to get rid of this Rio engine. They're kind of rare. But I'm getting rid of a lot of shop manuals. There's one for Detroit diesels. There is a nice Black & Decker Sawzall, reciprocating saw, but I got 2 of them. What are you going to do with them? A lot more manuals, tractor manuals, a lot of stuff there. Everything marked already. Toolbox with mainly junk, to be honest with you. And a skill saw, worm drive, great saw. They don't make them like that anymore. And I got to get rid of this thing. Haven't used it since I made it. There is a video on that, you know. Okay, thank you for watching. Quit snooping behind me there. I should do a shop tour of the garage. This is Studio G, you know. Maybe I have done that. I don't even remember. And there was a recent video using that South Bend mill. Well, I'm gabbing too much. Thank you very much for watching. This is Mr. Pete saying so long for now. And you know what? There's 1,500 videos there if you need something to do. Please leave me a thumbs up and a comment. It helps a lot. Subscribing doesn't really help, as far as I can tell. So long for now, and I'll see you in the next video.